Welcome everyone to another Integration Quest MuleSoft study group. Glad to have everybody here today. And for those of you watching in the archives, thanks for watching. Happy to have you. Today we have Janavi. She's going to be going over Flex Gateway. And I'm excited to see this. I haven't looked at this in a while, so it'll be great to go over some Flex Gateway and find out how to manage APIs. Let's go ahead and just share a couple things like I always do real quick, and then I'll turn it over to her. So everybody's been doing great. We'll just continue this great record of everybody acknowledging if your mom and dad said, please don't do it, then don't do it. And everybody's been doing that. So everything's been awesome here. We really appreciate it. We like that. I'm sharing continually to go over, check out the archives, check out the library. If you're already watching this in an archive, then you already found it. So there's two great links to get you to our YouTube channel. Click like, comment, subscribe, do all that good stuff that everybody always says, because I really do check the comments and I reply back to people. I love talking to people on there. We've gotten quite a few more subscribers and comments, and I'm just really happy to see them. So go over there and check that out. So like I said, today we have Janavi. She has over 16 years of experience in the IT industry. She's got a lot of certifications with MuleSoft and a lot of hands-on experience, which I'm really happy to see. Like I was just sharing with everybody in the little chat that we were doing just before I started recording. I was last looking at Flex Gateway when I was studying for my MCD1 exam, and I haven't ever actually gotten to implement it in real life. So she's got the hands-on experience. So that's why I love having people in this study group, so they can share their experience and we can learn. So that way, if I ever get my hands on something like this, then I'm, at least a little step ahead. So thank you so much, Janavi. Like I'm always saying, all of these, credentials and all this information that you have is just so great to share it with everybody. So I'm always so happy to see everybody that wants to come and share this and give back to the community in these study groups. So I'm going to stop sharing so you can do that. And thank you so much, everybody. Just help me give her a warm welcome in here today. And we'll go ahead and learn about some Flex Gateway. And I'll keep an eye on the chat, Janavi. If anybody has any questions, please feel free to ask, and I'll kind of raise my hand and pause her so she can answer them while we're going. Because if anybody learns like I do, you want to ask the question while it's fresh, so that way you don't forget the question. So if anybody has anything, feel free to drop it in there.
Thank you, Ajay. I hope you are able to see my screen.
Yes, I do. Yeah, looks great. I see that first slide. Looking very good.
Perfect. So, all of you, very good afternoon and welcome to the introduction of the Flex Gateway. So, before we get started with the Flex Gateway, let us understand why Flex Gateway was introduced. That brings us to the question of what is Universal API Management. So today we are going to get started with the introduction to Universal API Management, and then we are going to learn about one of its product, which is the Flex Gateway. So what is Universal API Management? When was it introduced? What is its goal? So basically, Universal API Management concept was introduced by MuleSoft in the year 2021 December, but most of the products that are power the Universal API Management became available officially from the first quarter of 2022. So the main goal of working with Universal API Management is to make sure that we have a single control plane which allows us to manage any API that is being hosted anywhere in the world, irrespective of the environment, technology, how it is being exposed, where it is running. So, why do we need to go with such a kind of a single control plane? So, recently, organizations have seen increased usage of public and private APIs. So for MuleSoft, we have a Mule gateway already in place, which manages Mule applications. But what about the polyglot development applications? That is any API that is a non-Mule application. Maybe you are using Java or Python or JavaScript or any other language to create your APIs. Your APIs are hosted somewhere else, not in the Mule runtime. Would it be possible for us to manage such kind of APIs as well using the API manager? The solution is your universal API management. So, to work with universal API management, what could be the potential benefits of working with it? So, if you look into, you can adapt to any architecture with minimal efforts. So, your universal API management provides you with the flexibility to manage and secure any service. You can provide enterprise security management, right? You can deploy and monitor services across any cloud or environment. You're not restricting that, hey, you only need to go with and use a certain technology. No, we are not restricting. The developers have the scalability, they have the freedom to choose their own cloud environments. Flex Gateway or Universal API Management allows us to accelerate the time to market. You can discover your APIs, you can reuse your APIs, you can explore your APIs using your Experience Hub, right? So that's the reason your products will be faster to the market because of the concept of reusabilities. And you can build trust without sacrificing any agility. For compliance, you have your API governance available where you can work with your governance rule sets. So, compliance to industry standards, your organizational design standards is also possible because of this universal API management. So, to work with universal API management, what are the existing tools that we will be using? And what are the new tools that are being introduced for the concept of universal API management? In Anypoint platform, we already have your API manager, design center, exchange, and the runtime manager available. API manager is the place where you are managing your API instances, applying your policies. API designer, you will be writing your API specifications. Exchange is our discoverable area, the heart of your Anypoint platform. If you want to see where your applications are deployed, all the deployed applications and servers, you have your runtime manager. In addition to these existing products of the platform, new additional products are being introduced. One is your API catalog CLI. API catalog CLI allows you to discover your APIs. To work with your catalog CLI, there are a lot of commands available for you for your Anypoint. So Anypoint CLI requires, catalog CLI requires you to have your Anypoint CLI installed on your machine, and you are going to run the commands related to your catalog CLI. So catalog CLI and governance, we will be discussing them in another study group. That won't be the part of discussion right today. Then Flex Gateway was introduced. Flex Gateway basically is to manage your APIs. So Flex Gateway is the topic that we are going to cover in detail in today's study group. Then you have your API governance. API governance is for compliance with your organization and industry standards. And Experience Hub basically is for your customers whom you want to engage with your APIs or microservices. So Experience Hub basically is for the marketing team to provide support for those who are using your APIs. You'll be building your communities. You can provide your discussion forums revolving around your API. You can write your blogs, right? Discussion forums, support, KPI management is part of your Experience Hub. So these are the 4 new components that are being added in the Anypoint platform to work with your universal API management. So let us get started with the concept of your Flex Gateway. So let us start with the today's discussion on the concept of Flex Gateway. So what is Flex Gateway? Flex Gateway basically is an ultra fast, lightweight API gateway that is based on Envoy. Your Flex Gateway allows to manage and secure the APIs that are running anywhere in the world. Basically, you can use your Flex Gateway to seamlessly integrate with your CI/CD process in your organization. If you are looking for high performance, Flex Gateway could be a better solution. It provides you with the enterprise security and manageability. Flex Gateway basically is available in 2 different deployment options. Flex Gateway is available for you in 2 different options or 2 different deployment types. When Flex Gateway was introduced, initially only one option was there, that is the self-managed Flex Gateway. As the name indicates, self-managed. It is from the user end. The user is responsible for the setup. MuleSoft had Anypoint platform and it gives the updates, any updates for the Flex Gateway. The package used to be given to the customer. The rest, all the responsibility, setting up, upgrades, your scalability, availability, security, connection with your platform and your Flex Gateway, everything was customer's responsibility. So that is the reason it's called as your shared responsibility model. Recently, a new deployment type is being introduced, which is Managed Flex Gateway. Managed Flex Gateway, as the word indicates, managed. Everything is managed by MuleSoft. Managed Flex Gateways are hosted on Cloud Hub 2.0 and requires you to have your private spaces. So in this discussion today, we'll be talking a bit about your self-managed Flex Gateway first, and then we will be looking into the Managed Flex Gateway as well. So let's get started with our understanding of the components of self-managed Flex Gateway first. So before the components, if you want to work with your Flex Gateway, certain permissions are required. Certain permissions are required to work with your Flex Gateway. So let's go ahead and look into those permissions first. So let me grab some documentation for you related to the requirements, the prerequisites for your Flex Gateway. So to work with the Flex Gateway, you need to have your runtime manager permissions, manage servers, read servers. Manage servers allows you to create, modify, update, delete your Flex Gateway servers. Read server, on the other hand, is for read-only purposes. Right? You will be able to only go ahead and view your server and the Flex Gateway resources. Then, to work with your connected app with respect to the Flex Gateway connectivity, along with the runtime manager permissions, you should have your view user or view organization permission as well. If you want the permission for a child business group for view organization, the parent the parent business group also should have this view organization permission. Then Flex Gateway. The pricing is based on the number of calls made to the API. So you have to monitor how many calls are being made to your APIs. So to look at the usage of the Flex Gateway, the usage reports of the Flex Gateway, you need to have your usage viewer permission as well. The usage viewer permission allows you to observe your usage reports. Previously, when MuleSoft introduced Flex Gateway, the Flex Gateway reports were available only once in a month. 5th of every month, the reports used to get updated. But now, you have your monthly usage report available as well as the daily usage report also available for you. For your Flex Gateways, 20 million API calls can be made in a year. If you want to have more number of calls to be handled, you can reach out to the support team. Then, along with these permissions, there are permission requirements or prerequisites to work with your managed Flex Gateway and your self-managed Flex Gateway. For the managed Flex Gateway, you need to have your private space configured or available. Then, for self-managed Flex Gateway, you have your hardware and software requirements available. So the hardware and software requirements are elaborately available for you in this MuleSoft documentation. So let me share this documentation with all of you in the chat window. Here you go. So what are the options available for self-managed Flex Gateway and what are the minimum requirements for you to work with is discussed in your prerequisites documentation. So you have your software requirements, the hardware requirements, and also any port numbers, IP addresses, host names that needs to be allowed. So before getting started with the installation of your Flex Gateway, it is essential to have the required permissions to work with the Flex Gateway. Then, once you have the required permissions, then you can go with your managed or self-managed Flex Gateways as per your need. So let us get started first with your self-managed Flex Gateway. So what is self-managed Flex Gateway? As we said, customer is going to have the required infrastructure maintained at their place. So user is going to maintain or manage the underlying infrastructure for your Flex Gateway. So what are the various Flex Gateway components available for you? So Flex Gateway has a Flex controller, it has an envoy and your Fluent bit. Basically, Flex Gateway is based upon your lightweight envoy proxy distribution. The Flex controller translates the incoming YAML declarative configurations into envoy specific formats. And for log forwarding, your Fluent bit is used. We are going to discuss a bit more about Fluent bit as we go forward in the class related to logging. So for working with your self-managed Flex Gateway, what is the setup requirements? To work with the Flex Gateway setup, you have to download and install your Flex Gateway first. Then you need to register your Flex Gateway, and you have to go ahead and run the commands based upon your choice of Flex Gateway installation. So what commands are there? Uh, Based upon three different options. First, it's based on the deployment model. For self-managed Flex Gateway, 4 deployment models can be selected. You have your Linux virtual machine based on virtual machine. You have your container-based service. Docker and Podman are supported here. And you have cluster-based service for your Kubernetes cluster or the OpenShift cluster. So you need to come up with one of these deployment options from your end. Once you have made the choice of the deployment model, you need to go ahead and decide on your connected mode. Decide on your connected mode or the local mode. So what is the connected and local mode? The choice depends upon the type of licensing you have in your organization. Do you want to use your Anypoint Platform UI? And what type of APIs do you want to manage? Based on that, you have to decide whether you want to go with your connected mode or the local mode. And then you have your authentication method. Authentication method, either you can go with your username passwords or connected app client ID secret or your bearer token to access your platform. So these are the three main setup requirements that you need to decide. And once you have taken a decision on this, the configuration is basically the execution of your commands. So let me quickly go ahead and show you where you can get this particular commands from, the documentation that is available. So I'm quickly logging in to my platform account. So most of the configuration related to your Flex Gateway is the commands, the execution of your commands. So in your runtime manager, you have your Flex Gateways tab available for you. Here you can create your managed Flex Gateway or your self-managed Flex Gateway. You have an option for your documentation available for you. You have the documentation, the complete documentation available here. It's going to take me to the same page. And if I say add self-managed Flex Gateway, it will take me to this particular location to add the Flex Gateway. So let me share this URL with you. This is the complete Flex Gateway documentation information. So here you have the 4 options: Linux, Container, Kubernetes, and OpenShift. So in Linux, what are the various options available for you? Ubuntu is supported, your Red Hat is supported. So whenever you are choosing a particular option, at the bottom, you can see the commands to install your Flex Gateway, register your Flex Gateway, start your Flex Gateway. So for every deployment option available, you have your commands existing. The only thing you need to do is to modify these values according to your organization and execute them. So let me come back here to the slides. So based upon your deployment model, mode, and the authentication method, we have the commands available. Then, what is the connected mode and local mode? When you will be going with the connected mode, when to go with your local mode? Let us have some information on that. So connected mode. If you want to use your AnyPoint platform, the MuleSoft control plane, for configuring your Flex Gateway, you prefer to work with your connected mode. So connected mode is fully connected to your MuleSoft control plane. It gives you a UI based experience. Similar to how you are working with your Mule Gateway, similarly you can have your configurations. So in the API manager, you can configure your Flex Gateway and you can apply your policies. Just give me a moment. Here you go. If you look into your API manager, you have your option to work with your Flex Gateway as of today. So when you go to add new API, you have your Flex Gateway available for you, where you can manage your APIs, apply your policies. So if you are planning to use your AnyPoint platform to manage your Flex Gateway, then you prefer to go with your connected mode. And in the runtime manager, you have your Flex Gateway configuration available. Then Ram, I'm coming to your question in a moment, please. We are going to discuss a bit on that. Then you have your local mode. Local mode is preferred when you have your CI/CD pipeline in place for your application deployments to manage your standalone gateways and also to work with your non-Mule applications, where you will be writing your declarative configuration files. So most of the configuration that you do in the local mode, everything you will be specifying as your YAML file. The declarative configuration files are your YAML configuration files. So all the configurations, your policies, they are locally stored as your declarative configuration files. Connected mode you can use for your Mule as well as non-Mule applications. Local mode is used mainly for your non-Mule applications. Now, how are you going to install your self-managed Flex Gateway? So let's consider an example. Let's say you want to go with the connected mode. You want to use your Docker container to manage your APIs using your Flex Gateway. So the first step involved in the installation setup is to install your Flex Gateway. To install the Flex Gateway, you use your command docker pull command and you give the package name for your Flex Gateway. The MuleSoft /Flex Gateway is the package name of the Flex Gateway. If you want any specific version to be installed, you can say version number. If you don't give the latest automatically the latest version will be downloaded for you. Then once you have your installation or the Flex Gateway image downloaded, the second step is to work with your registration of your Flex Gateway with any point platform. So to register your gateway, you use your Docker run command. If you remember the diagram of your Flex Gateway components, you have the input coming to your Flex controller. So hyphen entry point is the entry point. If you want to change the entry point, you can specify that. Hyphen V indicates volume. That is, wherever your Flex Gateway location is available, I want to see that particular registration file in the present working directory. That is, wherever you are running this particular commands, in that directory, I want my registration for the Flex Gateway to happen. So going forward, in this directory, whatever commands you execute, those will be applied for your Flex Gateway. So you're specifying that, hey, you need to register in this present working directory where the command is executed. You need to connect to your platform account. So you need to give your business group or the organization ID. And instead of token, if you want to go with your connected app, you can give your client ID secret here. If you want to work with your username password, you can give the username password as well. Username password, it's going to give you the complete permissions for the platform. That's the reason I have seen many organizations not going with username password directly. Instead, to give only the required permissions, I have seen organizations going with the connected app. Then the output directory where the registration file is specified, and when connected is equal to true. When connected is equal to true, you are registering your Flex Gateway in the connected mode. If you want your Flex Gateway to be in local mode, this particular line will not be there. And then you have your Flex Gateway name. Any user defined name that you want to specify can be given. Once the registration is done, similar to customer hosted on premises, only your Flex Gateway will be created for you. It won't be started, there won't be any replicas in it. So once the registration is done, in the directory where you are working, executed the command, registration.yaml file will be created for you. Your Flex Gateway will be created, but it will not be running. So you have to start your Flex Gateway. To start the Flex Gateway, you will be again using the Docker run command. So the Flex Gateway path is specified here for you where you have the conf folder. Conf folder contains all the configuration details related to your Flex Gateway. So any configuration details that you want to modify, any YAML files that you are writing, they will be part of this conf.d folder. And we want that particular files to be available for us to view in the present working directory. And then you will be specifying the port. -p indicates your publish. So what do you mean by publish? So let me go ahead and quickly grab some documentation here. Okay, so -p, you have your -p 8081:8081. So what exactly is this? -p indicates publish, publishing a port. So a Docker container has some port numbers that are available. Your application is running somewhere which has the listener listening to certain port number. So the first port number that you specify after -p is related to your Docker container. So whatever ports are available in your Docker, you can give that port colon. The second port number that you specify is related to what your listener is listening to. For example, if you are deploying your application to Cloud Hub, the HTTP listener listens on port number 8081. So the second one is your application port number to which your listener is listening to. So -p, this indicates that, hey, the request that comes for you is on this first port number. This has to be mapped to the second port number after the colon to make a request to the backend service. If you want, you can give a name to your replica as well. If you don't give the name to your replica, automatically the container ID will be considered as your replica name. You can stop your Flex Gateway using Docker container stop. You can either give your container name or the container ID. So Flex Gateway configurations are your execution of your commands. So you need to know what is your deployment model, what is the mode you want to go with, and what authentication methods you want to work with. Now, once you have done the registration, let's say you had some issues. Some configuration was not properly configured, or you want to check for some logs. So logging in Flex Gateway, especially your self-managed Flex Gateway, is related to your Fluent bit configuration. For Flex Gateway, you have two different types of logs available. One is your runtime logs. Runtime logs are the default logs. These runtime logs contains information related to your start and stop of your Flex gateways, your envoy, your Fluent bit configurations, any misconfigurations you have done with respect to your Flex gateway, right? Your deployed applications, policies related information, all this will be part of your runtime logs. Apart from your runtime logs, you also have your access logs. Access logs are the logs related to your specific API's request and responses. Access logs are not available by default. Access logs will be available only if you configure your message logging policy. You have to configure your message logging policy for your Flex Gateway API instance. So we said that logging is based on the Fluent bit. So what is Fluent bit? Fluent bit is a lightweight, highly scalable, super fast logging option available for you for working with your logging, collecting your metrics, your forwarding your logs. So Fluent bit basically in Flex Gateway is used to collect the metrics and logs and forward them. So it acts like a log forwarder. You can go ahead and push the metrics using your Fluent bit. So Fluent bit 3.2.10 version, whatever outputs are supported, you can use any of those output destinations to configure your log forwarding. As an example, you can go with File, Splunk, Amazon CloudWatch, Amazon S3, Datadog, Elasticsearch, Loki, and many more. So let me show you the complete list of your Fluent bit configuration. So let me quickly grab this here, the documentation related to your Fluent bit for you. This is the complete documentation of your Fluent bit. Where's the chat? Here you go. This is your Fluent bit documentation. In the documentation, as you scroll down on the left hand side, below your data pipeline, you have your outputs available for you. Look at those outputs. You have the complete list of your destinations where you can forward your logs to from your Flex Gateway. Immediately a question will come. How do I forward the logs? To forward the logs for your Flex Gateway, you need to go ahead and write your configuration file, a YAML configuration file. Let me give you the default logging configuration YAML file. This is the skeleton structure of your configuration file. So basically it's kind configuration. You are working with your logging. So what outputs need to be specified? You can specify those outputs. So you can specify those outputs, and in those outputs, sorry, my bad. In those outputs, you can go ahead and specify the parameters. You can specify your parameters. This is where you will be configuring the parameters based on your Fluent bit configuration. And then you have your runtime logs, you have your access logs that you want to forward, and you can specify your log levels as well. So these parameters that you see here, this is where you have to use your Fluent bit configuration, the Fluent bit documentation that I have shown you. So let us go forward. Let us look at that particular Fluent bit configuration as an example. Right? So let me quickly come back here to the documentation of your Fluent bit. As an example, let us choose a file. Observe a file. You have your configuration parameters available. You have to specify in which path, what should be the file name, what should be the format of the file. So these should go as part of your YAML file parameters. The path, file name, and the format. For example, if you want to go with your Splunk as an example here, in the Splunk, you have to give the host, port, Splunk token, and any other configuration parameters that you want to specify. So as an example, let us see how this particular file are being written. So let me quickly grab that information for you. So how to write your third-party log configuration. The third-party log configurations can be specified based upon your Fluent bit configurations. As an example, observe the file configuration example. You have the parameters file name and the format. Then, if you look into your Splunk configuration, you have your parameters host, port, your Splunk token, and TLS information. So you need to refer to the Fluent bit documentation to complete this skeleton structure of your log forwarding for your Flex Gateway. Similarly, your Dynatrace, what parameters are available, you can look at those parameters information. Right? So fluent bit configuration, whatever you are specifying, the fluent bit configuration is based on your YAML file, based on your destination where you want to forward your Flex Gateway logs to. These parameter values must be replaced. Then you have your self-managed gateway. Agreed. But why managed Flex Gateway was introduced? Because self-managed Flex Gateway comes with its own challenge. There's a huge burden on your IT department for maintenance and operations. Scaling, patching, troubleshooting is difficult. 24/7 support must be available. You should have your own infrastructure. You are responsible at your end. And when you are deploying your gateway runtime, that's again the customer hosted user responsibility. To overcome these challenges, Managed Flex Gateway is being introduced. So, what is this Managed Flex Gateway? Managed Flex Gateway basically everything is MuleSoft hosted. It allows you to fully manage your API gateway for any APIs that are running anywhere. It's fully hosted on Cloud Hub 2.0 private spaces. It simplifies your API gateway operations. You're not bombarded or you're not overburdened with the infrastructure configurations and provisioning. Everything is handled by MuleSoft. The infrastructure, the maintenance, scalability, your availability. So there is very less overhead. Managed Flex Gateway, there are two flow plans available for you. One is your small Managed Flex Gateway. Small Managed Flex Gateway is used for testing and staging purposes. For small Managed Flex Gateway, 50 APIs can be managed and 100 requests per second max. Then for large Managed Flex Gateway, it's for production purposes. 500 APIs can be managed and 500 requests per second can be handled. So if you are looking for working with your POCs, you can go with your small Managed Flex Gateway. And for the production environments, for large number of requests to be handled, large number of APIs to be handled, you can go with your large Managed Flex Gateway. We are looking into procuring the entitlements for this Managed Flex Gateway. Once we have that, we will have one more session where we will be doing the hands-on related to the Managed Flex Gateway. So whenever you configure your Flex Gateway, you want to work with your API instances. For Flex Gateway, you have something called as multiple upstream services. So what is this multiple upstream services? Let's say you are making a request to your Flex Gateway proxy instance. So this particular request coming in, the URL that you will be using to make a request to your Flex Gateway instance or the proxy instance, it's called as your consumer endpoint. So with one consumer endpoint, you can work with multiple backend services. You can have one URL or one request URL to trigger multiple backend services. This is possible because of some concept called as routes. You can configure the routes and upstream services in your Flex Gateway. And along with this configuration, you can also specify the waits. Let us say when a request is coming, 70% of the time, so and so upstream URL must be triggered. Let's say 10% of the time, another upstream URL must be triggered. 20% of the time, a third upstream URL must be triggered. So this is basically related to your multiple upstream services. That's possible with respect to your Flex Gateway configurations. When you work with your Flex Gateway configuration version 1.5 and later, using a single consumer endpoint, multiple upstream services can be exposed using routes. So you can use your route order and your routing rules to direct your requests. You can specify the weightage, theoretically up to 100 routes, and for each route 10 upstream services can be added. So where this particular route needs to go, or the upstream service configuration, the routing rules. The routing rules are based on the method. You have to write your rules with respect to which particular method you want to go ahead and work with, maybe get method, post method, etc., delete method. You can write your routing rules based on the path or the host from where your requests are coming, or the request should be routed to, and the header information as well. So routing rules can be configured based on method, path, host, or the headers. Then you have your Flex Gateway. Once your API is being managed using your Flex Gateway, you need to specify your Flex Gateway policies. Flex Gateway policies allows you to secure and govern your Flex Gateway APIs. Your Flex Gateway policies, you can either use your Anypoint platform to configure them, or you can use your declarative configuration files for the local mode. For your connected mode, always you can use your Anypoint platform similar to your Mule gateways. There are 3 different types of Flex Gateway policies available, and those are configured or further broken down into maybe rate limiting policies, caching, authentication and authorization, threat protection, monitoring policies. One of our friends have given health checks, right? So you have a policy for health check for your Flex Gateway. Your logging policies are available. Now, when you go with your Flex Gateway policies, inbound policies are your included policies. Similar to your Mule Gateway policies are your inbound policies. The policies that you apply when a request is coming in. Recently, outbound policies were introduced. Outbound policies is when you are returning back the response. You can also go ahead and work with your custom policies for your Flex Gateway. Custom policies, you can configure them using your WebAssembly or Rust, or you can use your PDK. The policy development kit is also introduced for configuring your custom policies for your Flex Gateway. So let's go ahead and look into your inbound, outbound, and custom policies. So let me quickly grab here the documentation related to your Flex Gateway policies. policies for your Flex Gateway. So you have your inbound policies available. Observe, one of the main reason many organizations are moving towards Flex Gateway is related to your agent to agent communication, to work with your MCP, model context protocols. So A to A policies are also available for you now in your Flex Gateway. This has been introduced recently. Then you have your security related policies, compliance related policies, transformation policies, quality of service policies. Observe, the MCP policies are also available for you. So these are all the policies that are supported. Ram, you have asked for your health checks, right? So you have a specific policy for your health check configuration as well for your Flex Gateway. Then apart from your inbound policies, you have your outbound policies available for you. So 8 policies are right now introduced as part of your outbound policies. More policies will be added shortly. So if you want to go with any kind of like basic authentication, or you want to work with your circuit breaker, your outbound message logging, you can go with your outbound Flex Gateway policies. Custom policies, you have your policy development kit available for you, or you can use your Rust to create and publish your custom policies. So let me come back here to the slides. Then let me quickly grab this documentation for you. The inbound and the outbound policies for your Flex Gateway. So a very important question to come. Hey, we have the Mule Gateway, we have the Managed Flex Gateway, we have a Self-Managed Flex Gateway. Which one to use? When to go with your Managed Flex Gateway, when to go with your Self-Managed Flex Gateway, and your Mule Gateway. Mule Gateway is for your Mule applications. Your applications are deployed to your Mule runtimes. It's embedded in your Mule runtimes. MuleSoft manages everything. It could be Cloud Hub management or your on-premises management. The operational overhead is low for your Mule gateways, and it delivers standard performance. Self-managed Flex Gateway is for your Mule and non-Mule applications. It's based on Envoy. But self-managed, as the name indicates, it is user-managed with shared responsibilities. User will be responsible for everything. You can either go with Linux, Docker, Kubernetes, or OpenShift for the infrastructure. The operational overhead is very high for your self-managed Flex gateways. If you're looking for your performance, if you're looking for the information related to the control, you should have the full control of your Flex gateway. You will have to go with your self-managed Flex gateway. And then you have your managed Flex gateway. Managed Flex gateway is for Mule or non-Mule applications based on Envoy, but it's MuleSoft managed. MuleSoft is responsible for everything behind the scene. So the operational overhead is very low and the performance is high. So Ram, coming to your question, The logging and the health checks, do they work similar to Mule Gateway? If you are going with your managed Flex Gateway, or you are going with your connected mode in the self-managed Flex Gateway, you will be able to go ahead and have the capabilities of your anypoint monitoring similar to your Mule Gateway. Hope that answered your question, Ram. So any questions here?
Ram said, thank you. So yes, that must have answered his question.
Right.
Very good job answering that. I saw that he had posted that and I was like, I'm going to let her get to that. I remembered looking through some of your stuff. That's okay, Ram. I see your mic isn't working. You're okay, buddy. I saw that you were going to wind up coming to that. Great job. That was awesome.
So we'll be having a follow-up class related to this Flex Gateway, related to the hands-on of your managed Flex Gateway.
Okay, yeah, a follow-up class. Yeah, that'll be great. We'll definitely get that on the schedule in the future and let you continue on from here. Very good job. I really appreciate you coming out today and presenting on this and sharing everything. That was excellent. I believe everybody has dropped. Something may have gone wrong with the network, but I'm going to go ahead. Okay, yeah,
Ram just joined. I think he might be having
that's
mic
okay.
issues.
I see that. Yeah. It looked like some network issues are on my end also, but
Hello?
that's okay. You already put up the question and answer, so just giving everybody a chance to come on and ask questions while we're still recording. That way we can capture some questions and answer them for the
In the meantime,
study
let
group.
me share the references as well with the team so that they have them.
RJ, are
Oh
you able
yeah,
to hear me?
definitely. You want me?
Yeah, now I'm
Yeah,
able to hear you, Ram.
we hear you now. Yeah, we hear you.
Yeah. Thank you, January. Thank you for going through Flex Gateway. We never used it, so it's a good knowledge.
Thank
Only thing
you.
is, what is the overhead on the teams who uses Flex Gateway self-managed? Right? Because you need to set up all the infrastructure, you need to set up all the
You
logins,
need to have
policies.
your Kubernetes cluster available or your OpenShift cluster available in place. You will be responsible for installing your Flex Gateway. You should be responsible for your scalability, availability, patching, upgrades, and connectivity between your Flex Gateway and your infrastructure in your organization, so that everything would be your responsibility.
Okay. So is there any cost effective to use self-managed versus mule-managed?
If you are looking for, like, if you have the team available for you where you can handle everything from your end, instead of saying like, okay, let me put it this way, instead of saying like cost effectiveness, it's about mainly the resource availability at your organization. Do you have the Kubernetes cluster already in place, or do you want to go ahead and work with from the scratch? Okay. Or do you want to go ahead and have a localized control of your infrastructure? Then prefer to go with your self-managed Flex Gateway.
Okay.
If you don't want to have like a burden on your IT team, ops team, then you can prefer to go with your managed Flex Gateway.
Thank you.
That sounds good. So it's not so much about the cost; it's more so about what works for you. That's good.
Yes.
I like it. I appreciate all the links. I have all the links. They're going to be in the description of the video too, because like even when you were looking, you're showing like how to configure or Splunk or something like that, and it's giving the Splunk configuration example. I'm not going to remember that by heart. You know, I'm not going to be able to commit that to memory. So it's good to be able to look to these resources when you are finding yourself at a time of actually doing this. It's nice to see all the documentation, that everything is so well documented out there. So great, looks great. I like it. If nobody else has any questions and answers, I'm just going to give you all a sneak peek on what the next study group is next week.
Yes.
And there it is. So we're going to be going over Anypoint Partner Manager. Akash is going to be coming out and presenting on that. That'll be next week. That'll be on the
Okay.
12th of next
Same time?
week. So hope, yep, same time. And so we hope everybody can attend and join in the live discussion. Always happy to have everybody. And again, thank you so much for coming out. I know everybody's busy, and it's just always great to do this and share things and share knowledge. So awesome. Thank you so much, Janavi.
Thank you, Ajay.